So thank you guys for coming to our junior office hours. This is something that we've not had before. I know at school, when we're usually in session, the counselors will start meeting with you guys sometime in March or April to start getting you ready for senior year. So I figured that since we were out here on the corona quarantine or whatever you want to call this thing, and we do have some time, we can actually start getting you guys ready early for next year. So many of you guys have different paths and different things that you're doing. Some of you are planning on getting a you're planning on getting a 1-year certificate. Some of you guys are thinking about going to a community college and getting your 2-year associate's degree. Some of you are planning on working after high school. Some of you are planning on going into the military after high school. Some of you are thinking about taking a break. And some of you are thinking about going to a 4-year college right after high school. So you all have different things that you're working on. So you definitely want to start reaching out to your counselors and letting them know just what your thoughts are. They don't have to be things that are permanent, because your thoughts may change, and that's quite okay. But you really need to start thinking about it now, especially with scheduling that's going to be coming up soon. It's already kind of started. So working on your schedule for next year to make sure that you have classes that you need. And so we're going to have this junior office hour every 2 weeks. Okay, so it's not going to be every Monday, but it's going to be every 2 weeks. And so you guys are already saved in the invite, so you will get a reminder like the morning of, and maybe one right before the meeting. So you won't miss it at all. And I will record these. And so it just gives you an opportunity to get ready. So the first thing that I wanted to, and what I'll also do is have a topic each time. So I may talk for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes about a topic. And then the rest of that time, if you guys have any specific questions or projects that you're working on, you can feel free to ask questions at that time to get some assistance. And obviously you can make an appointment to see me. So let me put a link in the chat. So this link is to my Linktree account and any important events that are going on at this time. Or if you want to make an appointment to meet with me, you can use this and make an appointment with me and your counselors and a lot of other things. So let me put that here. And there's also a link on there to the College and Career website and also our YouTube page. So let me show you that real quick, just in case you haven't seen it. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Any questions so far before I go on? All right. Okay. So if you just came in, again, we're going to have this every 2 weeks. All right. So let me get into this website that I just gave you guys. There we go. All right, so I can't see you. So if one person can just unmute themselves and let me know that you can see this on the screen.
I can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. All right. So just in case you don't have this, the link that I sent you includes this College and Career website. So this is my site. So if you go to the home page, it just has, the general overview of the College and Career Center website. These are the things that our office can give you information about. Okay. And then at the bottom here, it has my email address, phone number, social handles, if you want to make an appointment, and our high school CEEB code. And so what this is a code that the SAT and the ACT uses to identify our school. So you'll need this number for a couple of different things. All right. Then there's a page on here that shows all of our college acceptances for last year. And so anybody who was in the top 10 is up here at the top. And it shows all these different colleges that students were accepted to last year, which was really great, that there was a nice array of schools from different parts of the country, different parts of the state, private, public, HBCUs, 2-year colleges, culinary schools, UTI, where you work on cars and other mechanical items. So it was a lot of cool places that people were applying to. Some cosmetology schools, of course, the United States Army. All right, the next tab has information about the counseling office. So I put this site together because, we're kind of virtual right now, and it's kind of hard to keep information all in one place. But when we go back, this will always be here. So if there's information that you need that you heard was out, it will be on this site. This is your page for your counselors. So it'll tell you their assignments. And if you want to make an appointment, you just click there. This is Miss Sedgwick. She works over at Roosevelt. And this is Miss Snaith and Miss Wolfenson. They now have 9th grade. Some of you guys may have had them last year. So any counselor that you need to get in contact with, all their information is here. Okay. And then any interns that we have, these may change because these are our interns from the fall. Their information is here. Okay. Then this is the main page, our upcoming events page. Okay, so these are some real pictures of our students from last year at different events. So you guys will probably be popping up in here next year. So any events that we have going on will be detailed here with dates and then some links at the bottom that you can click on so that you can go into those. So if you see here, this is what you're in right now, the junior office hours. The seniors have Money Grab Monday. We had a speaker last week. I'm going to take this off. And if you click there, you can actually sign up to go to these different events. Okay. College rep visits, which is something that you definitely should be signing up for in the fall if you didn't sign up for them this year. So basically, we have colleges that come to visit us. So this is the last week of college rep visits, but they will be coming back in the spring. I just haven't scheduled any yet because we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that and kind of be back in school at the same time. All right. So you see here, I'm not going to go through every single page, but this page is going to be important to you guys. And this is something that I'm starting to build now. Any summer programs that come in my email that I think will be good for you guys to apply to, I'm going to put here. So this PGSS is the Pennsylvania Governor's School of, I can't remember what this all is, but it has to do with science. So you want to check out that one. Columbia University has something. Seniors can look here, and guys, you can also look here too about scholarship information, financial aid, and then this is going to be important to you guys here, the countdown timetable for graduation. It gives information by grade of what you need to be doing. So if you scroll down here, it says grade 11, so it's saying what you should be doing now, right? And what you should be doing next semester and over the summer and into your senior year. So this is a very valuable page. And then the seniors are working from this page, and it tells you information about our college application process, how we do things at Norristown. Okay. So it's a lot of good information for you guys to see here. So you can start getting ready. So does anybody have any questions about this page? Anybody? All right. Okay. So PSATs. So we're scheduled to have the PSATs in January, and I'm hoping that you guys were able to sign up for that. I think that the registration is closed now. If you did not get to register, you can, of course, email Mr. Smallbach to see if he has any more spaces left. But it's definitely important for you guys to take the PSAT. It's to practice SAT, and it's a valuable tool for you guys because it allows you to be able to see what it's like to take a timed test, to see what type of questions are on the test, to see what you know and what you don't know. And so also as a junior, you can also be eligible for the National Merit Scholarship, or the NSMC. And so Andrea Ritter, who is in the senior class, she did make it to the semifinals for the National Merit Scholarship. So I think she's waiting to hear if she is one of the finalists, because she did very, very well on the PSAT. And so you want to make sure also, I mean, she may get some scholarship money out of that, whether she gets one from National Merit and or she's put that into her applications. And so people know that she did very, very well on the test. And also lastly, when you take the test, it'll give you an idea of what kind of score you will get on the SAT. So again, if you have not signed up for that, you want to get in contact with Mr. Smallbach to see if there's any space. So does anybody have any questions about the PSAT? All right, we got the experts on here. All right, the SAT. Oh, that's a bad acronym right now. Every time I say the word SAT, I get heartburn, upset stomach. What's that commercial? Upset stomach, diarrhea, all of that stuff. Because it's just too stressful right now with the SAT. So there are some students that did sign up for the December SAT and they did get canceled, and there are some people who took it. So we can go ahead actually and start signing you guys up for the SATs in March, May, and June. Okay. So if you have already completed by the end of this semester, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry, then we really recommend that you go ahead and take the test in March, because the test is predominantly in the math section, Algebra 2 and Geometry. But if you are taking Algebra 2 or Geometry during the second semester, you probably want to wait until May or June to take the test, only so you can get more math under your belt so that you can get a higher score. So you can take it whenever you want. But we will highly recommend, again, if you are not finished with Algebra 2 or Geometry by the end of this semester, to wait until May or June and take the test. But you can go ahead and register for it. So when you register for these tests, whether you're taking the ACT or the SAT, the majority of colleges take both of them. It doesn't matter which one you take. Even though we rarely have students that take the ACT, but really you guys should think about taking it. You guys will get fee waivers for the test. So you'll get 2 waivers for the SAT, 2 waivers for the ACT, and then you will get 2 waivers for the SAT subject test. Okay. So you're going to get free waivers to take the test. So you might as well take one of both, see which one, you feel the most comfortable with. And when you have to take a second test, then you take that one. We also recommend that you do not take tests back to back. Meaning, if you take the SAT in May, don't take it again in June, because in a lot of cases, you're going to get the exact same score. And we've seen it a number of times. And so, when you get your scores back, you're going to get the student essay answer service, and it kind of gives you more detail of what you need to do to improve your score. And so you have time to study that, analyze that. And then they have Khan Academy that's in your SAT. And then ACT also has a free test prep program. So you want to take that time in between tests to kind of boost your scores up. Okay. So now if you want to take an SAT in May and an ACT in June, then you can take those back to back, because they're 2 totally different tests. Just don't take the same kind of test back to back. So most students do take the test 2 or 3 times. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about that? Because you guys are really eerily quiet. You can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. Anybody? I guess everybody's an expert today. All right. So also, any summer programs that you guys hear about, even though it's going to be kind of weird that some of them still will be virtual, you want to get involved in some summer programs, because it'll give you an opportunity to be on some college campuses or work with some colleges. It'll give you an opportunity to learn some topics that maybe you want to dig deeper into. And sometimes if you do a summer program or internship, you may go into something thinking that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then when you get into it, you go, oh, this sucks. I don't want to do this. What is this? So it gives you an opportunity to find out, where your strengths and your interests really lie. And maybe, dig deeper into that topic if it's something good, or now to avoid it, and you don't waste 4 years majoring in that in college. And then you get to your second or third year and like, ooh, I don't like this. Okay. And so, you want to look at the summer programs, and you also, when it's time for scheduling, have these conversations with your counselor, look through your program of studies, talk to your parents about the different classes that we offer here at the school, and make sure that you pick some things that, are closely aligned with what you want to do. And so these are some of the topics that I will be talking about in more detail when we have our bi-weekly meetings. Okay. Most of you, if not all of you, got invited to a scholarship meeting. It's going to take place on December the 15th. And so that scholarship meeting is for the scholarship meeting are for students that are in the top 40, so that we can talk about scholarships that you guys should really be looking at. So of course, there are scholarships for everybody, regardless of what GPA you have. But some of these scholarships that require the higher GPAs, they're very involved and they take a long time to fill out sometimes. Or, you just want to make sure that it's the right one for you. And so that's what we're going to be talking about on December the 15th, because as you guys know, or in case you are living under a rock, Beatrice Alcala Ascension received a full ride scholarship to Princeton University. She does not have to pay tuition. She doesn't have to pay for room and board, which means she doesn't have to pay to live on campus. She doesn't have to pay for food. She doesn't have to pay for books. She doesn't have to pay for transportation. She gets a check every month and some mentoring. And this is a scholarship that she filled out and applied for. So for the whole 4 years of college, she owes nothing, no loans, nothing. So we will talk about that scholarship too on the 15th. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about are your GPAs, right? So your GPAs, you want to cherish them, you want to protect them. So if you're not doing so hot this marking period, you got to get it together and figure out what you need to do so you can get a C or above in the class. Don't just settle for getting a D and passing, but you want to get a C or above, preferably an A or a B, right? Your GPA will be run again in July. And then whatever your GPA is when you walk in the front door next year, that is the GPA that gets sent out to colleges. Okay. So you want to make sure that whatever you need to do to bump your GPA, do that. I've already run your transcripts, and I'm starting to look through some of your transcripts and some of your report cards. So when we do meet individually, we can kind of do some strategy there. But you want to get your GPA as high as you can get it. Number one, because if you want to get a scholarship from a college, they look at your standardized test scores, and they also look at your GPA. Some of these colleges will still be test optional next year, right? So you won't need them, but some of them, even if they're test optional, if you do well on the test, it will increase the amount of scholarship money that you can receive. All right. So you want to do your best and get these averages as high as you can. So I know it's so hard here doing this virtually. I'm a visual learner, so I can only imagine what it's like for you guys, but there's some things that we have to do. And you see Miss McGowan here, that we can do with our eyes closed at school, and on virtual, it's just a hot mess or a struggle, just trying to figure out how to do things differently under these conditions, right? But you guys are very creative. You're very bright. You're very talented. And for the most part, I skimmed through a lot of your report cards, and you guys have been doing a great job. Okay. So of course, I'm not going to talk about everything today because I want you to come back to the next session. But those are just some general things that we'll be talking about. And again, I won't use this much time for each meeting, only about 10 or 15 minutes. And then you guys can just ask any questions that you have, like a study hall hour. All right.
I think, Mrs. Mitchell, the fact that these students are here today shows a lot.
Yeah, this is great. I was surprised. I thought that actually this was going to be empty, and I was just going to be sitting here, taking a lunch or something right now. So this is great. 19 is great, or 17 is great. All right. So you guys can either unmute yourself or put a question in the chat, and you can also put in the chat some topics that you would like me to discuss. And that way I can add it to our list, and we'll just keep these things running until we go back to school. So obviously we won't be able to do it like this every 2 weeks when we go back to school. But maybe there's another time or another way that we can continue to do these. All right, anybody? All right, financial aid, you know that's going to be on there. So financial aid. All right, anything else you guys want me to talk about? Subject test, absolutely. Anybody else? Some things that you need to make sure that we talk about? Where do we register for the SAT? Absolutely. So I'll go ahead and in fact, we'll probably do SAT, how to prep for ACT. Oh, now they're coming. Prep for ACT. Let me open the chat now. College essays, absolutely. Something about SAT prep class on Khan Academy. Yes. So if you have registered to take the PSAT or you took the PSAT or whenever you register for the SAT, there's something called Khan Academy, KHAN on the SAT. It is a free test prep virtual service. And so what they will do is once you guys take the PSAT or the SAT, or actually the PSAT, it will actually take your results and tailor your Khan Academy experience based off of how you did on the test, right? And then for the SAT, the same thing, you can prep and kind of design your own format. So you can do that. You can also buy some test prep books from Princeton Review. A lot of companies have them. You can get the flashcards. They're like $10, $11, something like that. Some people do take a test prep test at Montco, but I know they haven't been having that test prep class. That class does cost about $300 some odd dollars, but they do have it. You know, so you definitely want to study and prep for these tests. Okay. Anything else you guys want to make sure that we cover? Can you guys put in the chat real quick and let me know what each of you so far, what your plans are after high school, if you want to. You don't have to. So I can kind of get a gist of that. That'll help me put together some topics for you guys too. Okay. 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 All right. So most of you right now are looking at four-year colleges. And I mean, everybody in here that I invited, you're pretty much, I mean, you're eligible to apply to many of the four-year colleges that are out there. You just have to make sure that you don't make the mistake that every senior class makes, is that they don't prep early. They don't get ready the summer before their senior year. And now they're struggling because they're tired right now. So the more prep that we do in the summer, we'll talk about that too, you guys will be ready to go. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for you. I'm not going to drag this out unless you want to stay here. So if you guys have any questions, you can stick around. I'm going to stop recording actually. And